Hello, Sam sir, how are you?
I'm fine sir. Yes sir. सॉरी सर वो कॉल
हेलो।
आप वो हेलो वो कॉल नहीं ज्वाइन कर पाया सर। मॉर्निंग में आपने लोगों ने किया था, वो ऑडिट था सर, तो उसके वजह से वो अब तो उसका तो रिकॉर्डिंग भी नहीं होगा ना जी।
अरे यार वो भूल गया मैं भी। आई एम गेटिंग ओल्ड यार, आई फॉरगेट, टेंड टू फॉरगेट।
नो इश्यू सर।
So that is not the criteria. I was reading something. See, things come out while you are reading something. So I was reading a note, and while reading my older notes, I came up to the topic of return on incremental capital, invested capital. So as Mr. Buffett says, the best judge to for a management and the best thing for the management to do is capital allocation decisions. It's a short call for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I'll not take more time. So I flopped on back to escorts. अभी नवंबर 2021 में एस्कॉर्ट्स का प्रोमोटर चेंज हुआ था एंड कुबोटा वेरी वेल established firm came to escorts and they bought escorts and then now they are in the controlling stake. ठीक है. So what they have done is I want to see these investments are made after 6 months balance sheet was out or before the 6 months balance sheet was out. Suppose if they are made after the 6 months balance sheet are out, so I can assume that this 2,800 crores of investments were made by Kubota, and what are these investments that we need to look. Okay, they had very less cash flow, 32 crores, and majorly went into restructuring and वो सब चीजें हुई. And again, they have been purchasing more of investments rather than putting up fixed assets. So I want to see what investment rationale this new firm has and where are they investing the money of this business. So will it produce any results or not? So looking at the return ratios have definitely gone down from 28% to 16% and now to 11% because they invested a lot. So coming back to the sheet, sorry. So what I have done over here is I have put trade payables because these trade payables are not exported to the Excel sheet. So I have copied trade payables from the balance sheet over here. These are trade payables, and I have copied and put these trade payables in the picture sheet because यहाँ लिखा हुआ मैंने explained this multiple number of times just to get the working capital. Now what I'm doing over here is I'm trying to calculate working capital in by the way of trying to calculate invested capital, reducing excess cash by the way of working capital plus net fixed assets. There are several ways to do it. You can do that in several ways, right? So 8200 crores is their capital employed and mota 3600 crores is their invested capital. The way I use it by on the asset side of the business, I'm not bothered about debt hai कि equity है, वो सब बात की बात है. So what we are doing is we are trying to calculate fixed assets plus working capital. यहाँ पर मैंने क्या किया है, सिंपल सी चीज है. I've taken a number called EBIT. Now these EBIT numbers are adjusted. What do we mean by adjusted? I've not added other income over here. And EBIT is I've not taken operating profit as EBIT because operating profit line के बाद भी कुछ adjustments होते हैं, right? So if you see the difference, there are some differences. So here you see 770 crores, here you see 848 crores. So there are differences, right? यहाँ और मैंने क्या किया है, EBIT के अंदर I have taken K22 which is your PBT plus interest. This number and this number, this becomes my numerator. So my EBIT is 848 crores, 1000 crores, so on and so forth. And I've taken a 5-year average. So this is 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, 5 year. So in 5 years, my earnings of the business have gone from 735 crores to 850 crores, mota, right? And how much money they had to deploy. So their invested capital by taking the net fixed assets and net working capital in the business as on that year was 2430 crores. Today it is 3500 crores. So समझने की बात ये है कि from 735 crores I was able to increase my earnings to 850 crores. Similarly, deploying around 1000 crores of capital in the business, in active business. This gives me an incremental return ratio of 10%, 10.6%. But I go back to 1 year back, numbers were not that great. Your ROEs and ROCs were not that very much great. But the money the management was trying to put into the business was earning very lucrative returns. So these things will not come on screener pages or will not come on your annual report. I want to see a management, suddenly a management changes and they have been able to utilize business proceeds at a rate which is much higher than the current ROCs and ROEs. So what will happen? Blended ROCs and ROEs and whatever you want to see next year will flock up, right? So if I take a total capital, their numbers are deteriorating. But if I take the invested capital, their numbers are still very good. Okay? And maybe that's why you see, I think around 2000 rupees they had taken the investment. And from there, this November of 2000, from 1800 the stock price is mota mota doubled. It's a large cap company, 40,000 crores is the market cap. Okay? So I want to see management putting capexes or management doing expansion in the business, and their expansions are giving it a higher amount of investment returns. So these are past numbers, these are not future numbers. So what we can do over here is we can get an estimate that this management has a track record to put money to better usage. So this is what I was trying to do. That's why I had asked when did the management change. One very good example which comes to my mind is Deepak Nitrate. दीपक नाइट्रेट में क्या हुआ था कि they had done a huge capex over here. If you see from 588 crores the assets went to 1700 crores. So they had made the largest capacity of phenol and acetone in the country. जहाँ डेट वेट सब चीजें हो गई. It was 2018 and 19. So now just to get little deeper in the calculation, I have to put these numbers in the sheet because these numbers are not already there since the numbers are from 2015. So we'll take 2015. We'll go to the picture sheet over here and we'll put these numbers here and we'll make it 0. Okay. Sorry. So this is your now see what is happening over here. This is Deepak Nitrate and this thing was done in where 18 and 19 and 19 they started with their commercial production. This was this period, right? They invested huge amounts. Look at the incremental returns which they generated by these investments done in 18 and 19. Now these are rolling numbers. ये numbers उस time नहीं थे. Stock price was $200. It went up to $8,000 or $6,000. पता नहीं. See this. It was $200 over here. Somewhere around here. See $200. It went up a 10x. Definitely the business grew. उसके बिना तो होता नहीं है. See the turnovers jumped. The profits skyrocketed. The margins jumped. Definitely the business grew. 18-19. COVID भी आया था. 18-19 यहाँ से कहानी शुरू हुई थी. From 79 crores, the profits jumped to 800 crores. Profit भी 10x हो गया. And my efficiency, my return ratios were sky high. So management doing capexes, management putting money into the business, and what is that additional money which they put into the business is getting you. They are not focusing on debt or equity at the moment, trying to focus on the efficiency by which the management is going in, putting the money in the business. Still, it's a very high number, return on incremental capital. और अगर मैं देखूं जाके तो बैलेंस शीट में इन्होंने इसके बाद कोई इतना बड़ा कैपेक्स कभी किया ही नहीं है. They might be at full capacity utilization, they might not be at full capacity utilization. I don't know because I don't track this business very actively. And still see what is happening over here. So it takes time, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. So even if you catch one move of this kind, looking at the efficiency by which the management is able to invest money, ये तो चलो zigzag flip flop and might be the growth might have slowed down and वो सब चीजें आपको पता है क्या है. प्रॉफिट्स आर ऑल्सो डाउन, मार्जिन्स आर ऑल्सो डाउन, टिपिकल था. बट ये 1, 2, 3, 4 साल तो इसके गोल्डन पीरियड था, राइट? We are people who are coming in and out of the businesses in a matter of weeks. These are 4 years. So just this thought, was reading again old notes. So that is why I shared with you. ठीक है.
ये एस्कॉर्ट में जो है ना जबरदस्त जो है ना रीरेटिंग हुआ है ऑलमोस्ट
सर
10 12 जो है ना.
रीरेटिंग पता क्यों होता है? क्योंकि देखो सबसे मेजर चीज है जो है बिजनेस में, वो है मैनेजमेंट. और मैनेजमेंट को गॉज करने के बहुत सारे सब्जेक्टिव तरीके हैं. वो सैलरी कितनी ले रहा है, उसके रिलेटेड पार्टी ट्रांजेक्शन्स कितने हैं, उसके सिमिलर लाइन में कितने बिजनेसेस वो रन कर रहा है. तो एक बहुत सारे अजम्पशंस हैं. सो मेजर मैनेजमेंट का काम क्या होता है? कैपिटल एलोकेशन. सो आई थॉट व्हाई नॉट वी गो एंड लुक एट द कैपिटल एलोकेशन डिसीजंस. अभी जैसे मेरे को याद है उस टाइम में हम लोग बात करते थे दीपक नाइट्रेट का, फिनोल एंड एसीटोन का, जब कर रहा था. एस्कॉर्ट्स में क्या हुआ? कुबोता आके बैठ गया. सो कुबोता ने ज्यादा कोई कैपेक्स नहीं किया है. मेजरली हैज पुट मनी इनटू इन्वेस्टमेंट्स. तो मोटी मोटी मुद्दे की बात है कि कितना पैसा लगा के वो कितना कमा पा रहा है. We are calculating ROCs and ROEs on the previous numbers. I want to know the efficiency of the management, that with what efficiency this management can go and put money to work. That will only decide my returns, provided growth is there, provided margins are there, वो सब चीजें हैं. So to know the efficiency, I need to know his return on incremental invested capital. Numbers can change. आगे फ्यूचर को किसी को नहीं पता, numbers can change, but at least we can get a sense कि यार इसकी ability कितनी है and how much space is there in the industry, in the market size where is able to invest this money. You see see जब तक growth नहीं होगा वो सब चीजें अच्छी हैं, ROC, ROE सब आपको पता है. You see any business which has grown beautifully in the last few years, लाइक विनती ऑर्गेनिक्स. एक मैं बड़े बड़े नेम्स ले रहा हूँ, मैं कोई छोटा मोटा कंपनी का नाम नहीं ले रहा हूँ. विनिति में क्या था कि वो लुब्रिजॉल एग्जिटेड एंड इट वाज अ साइक्लिकल बिजनेस एंड दे गेन वर्ल्ड मार्केट शेयर. वो सारी कहानी सबको पता है. दिस वाज विनिति ऑर्गेनिक्स, राइट? एंड इसमें वो IBB का वर्ल्ड शेयर था, ATBS था, वो सब कहानी सबको मालूम है. एंड देयर रिजर्व्स वर ग्रोइंग एंड एवरीथिंग वाज हैपनिंग वेरी गुड. So let's try and see when did actually my incremental returns went to a very high rate, and that could give me example of the ability of the management. Because can anybody find out when did Lubrizol shut down business? That was a key trigger point for Vinity. Lubrizol, you can go onto the net, please find out कि Lubrizol exited their business in they were in the same line of business and they exited. See, I have to put this because ये current liabilities निकलती नहीं है उसके अंदर से, so I have to put this in the data sheet. आपको zoom दिख रहा है zoom में? So their working capital is 190 today. Their working capital is 550. So what I'm doing is I'm just adding net fixed assets after depreciation plus working capital. See, there's a huge difference between invested capital and capital employed. Now these calculations do have some portion of error because I'm totally subtracting the cash. Sorry, I'm not subtracting the cash. I'm taking working capital. What is working capital? Current assets minus current liabilities. अभी कुछ कैश जो इनके पास रखा होगा वो स्पेयर कैश भी हो सकता है. तो हो सकता है कि मोस्ट लाइकली मेरा डिनोमिनेटर और कम हो सकता है. सो इट इज ठीक है, वी आर ऑन अ कंजर्वेटिव प्लेटफॉर्म. नाउ लुक एट द सी दीज नंबर्स वर आल्सो गुड. उसको पुराना और नया कैपेक्स में लाके जो भी वो कर रहा था अच्छा था. बट लुक एट दीज नंबर्स. दीज आर द नंबर्स व्हिच डिफाइन द एबिलिटी ऑफ द मैनेजमेंट टू पुट मनी टू वर्क. These are the numbers which define. अभी आप बोलो कि ये 30 का 28 हो गया, ये 45 का 36 हो गया, ठीक है, एंड ये 91 के नीचे चला गया. 1920 they went down because कोविड भी आ गया, सब कुछ चीजें होगी. But look at these numbers. 1819 must have been a good period if the business grew. 1819, yes, the business very well grew. This must have been a very good period for Vinity Organics. Oh, देखने की जरूरत ही नहीं. 1819 क्या था? ठीक. Even if you are late in identifying a business, even if you are late and buying the business at a higher valuation, ability of the management to put money to work at a high rate of interest, at a high rate of compounding interest versus what they have done in the past is something good. चलो यहाँ तो numbers मोटा मोटा same चल रहे हैं, मोटा मोटा these numbers were also good and these numbers were also good, मोटा मोटा same चल रहे हैं. But somewhere if you see profits, ROEs and ROEs were not moving up in that direction, but ROIs are moving up very excellently. एक एग्जाम्पल मेरे को याद आता है लाओपाला में ऐसे ही हुआ था. लाओपाला was a mega multi-bagger in some time. When the growth slowed down, वो नीचे चला गया था बाद में. So what the management is wanting to do and why they are putting the money and what that money is giving to the business is something to look at, to gauge the management. मेरे को अचानक ये वापस स्ट्राइक किया because I was reading this note और ये I should share this. ठीक है.
अच्छा एनालिसिस है जी.
नहीं सर एनालिसिस नहीं है, मैं साइबर नोट्स वापस पढ़ रहा था because what I do is
इसके अंदर ये बात भी है कि जब मैनेजमेंट इतना बड़ा कैपेक्स कर रहा है ना, उसका टाइमिंग भी बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है. जैसे कि आपने कुबोटा वगैरह आने से तो जो है ना उसका रीरेटिंग हो गया, कन्विक्शन हो गया.
मैंने 5 साल का
काफी जो है अच्छा कन्विक्शन आया.
मैंने 5 साल का एवरेज लिया.
हाँ नहीं अनडाउटेडली the numbers what you are referring is definitely more dependable number, but market also behaves the way as the number starts to confirm. अभी आप केमिकल कंपनीज में देखिए ना, ये नवीन और SRF और गुजरात फ्लोरोकेम में कितना बड़ा कैपेक्स डाला हुआ है, but there is no confirmation. And at this stage, it becomes very difficult for you to analyze whether those numbers are really working or not. It is totally dependent on demand. If demand comes back, then all these businesses will again come back with a big winning stage.
The demand comes back, वो ठीक है. Now I'll show you one example. Don't go by the name of this company, right? Just look at this example. What has happened in last 1 year? अभी कैपेक्स उन्होंने अनाउंस किया है, इतना बड़ा कोई कैपेक्स उन्होंने किया नहीं है. So see, capex is nothing yet. This gives me the total money which is going in the business. It might be investments, it might be working capital, it might be any time thing. मैं capex के ऊपर नहीं जा रहा हूँ. From 22 to 23 the capex was nothing. Just announce the capex, and you see the ROCs and ROEs are not that great. But look at this. Last 2 years they were sulking, and now they have put money to some work. And see the efficiency of that money. That money which they have put to work might be in working capital, might be in some getting some machinery, might be buying some land, might be doing some getting ready for a good capex, has increased the efficiency of the business. Now things like these tell you something about the management, right? So this is what I'm referring to. I don't want to go and buy business over here. No, it's already overvalued. I want to see businesses over here. When they are putting money to work and they are not getting output from it, right? यहाँ पे किसी को नहीं चाहिए. यहाँ पे your charts would be bad. Numbers were growing. Numbers went up and the numbers were growing, but your charts were bad and the PAT was also going up. See, this is 21 and 22. I doubt stock price might have done anything very great. 21 and 22, see? 21 and 22. क्या किया stock price ने? Nothing. And see your profits from 3.5 crores to 7 crores, profits doubled. Sales up by 53%. But still your stock did nothing. Because in spite of your ROEs and ROCs going from a 6% to a 12%. Why? Because you were still you were destroying value. And once you start to create value, the same growth gives you a kicker. Right? Now what they have done, they have not done a huge capex. They have more focused on increasing their market share and top line. आप कितनी भी कॉन्कॉल जाके पढ़ो उस कंपनी की, आपको यही चीज मिलेगी. So as your efficiency increases, you get a kicker. And this is where you get to know कि यार मेरा future, maybe next year, what could be my efficiency. Looking at the rate which the management is putting the money to use in the business. तो उसको नहीं समझ आता तो वो आपको डिविडेंड भी दे सकता था ना. उसने डिविडेंड कम दिया, कुछ नए कस्टमर्स पकड़े, या उसने कुछ नया ज्योग्राफी पकड़ा, या कुछ भी जो हम पैटर्न देख रहे थे वो पकड़ा. एंड अगर मैं इसको देखता हूँ in this just 1 year where they have, see, quarterly numbers are always there. You can track it on a TTM basis. Quarterly numbers are always there. In 1 year, what happened? 70 rupees stock price went to 700 rupees. और हम पागल की तरह बोलते हैं कि यहाँ ले लें, कि यहाँ ले लें, कि ये लाइन मार लें. बेवकूफी वाली बातें करते हैं हम लोग. Now, if they are able to deliver on this growth, which, well, I have visited the company and I am very sure they will be able to deliver on this growth जो इनकी चल रही है, 25 to 30%, they are guiding for that, and they are delivering more than 50% growth. ठीक है, 50% sustain नहीं करेगा. 25-30% is the base which they are guiding. If they are able to deliver on this growth, which very well they should be, and it's a cyclical business, you will always see Q4 numbers are always very strong, right? Q4 are the strongest numbers. They are booking 40% of their sales in Q4. Q1, Q2, Q3 are not that strong numbers. My estimate for this is getting around 400 crores of turnover this year. Management is guiding for around same things. अगर ये चीज होती रहती तो what do you need to sell? Efficiency is excellent. Even if it drops from 50% to 40%, still very excellent. And maybe that is how you are able to hold on to your conviction ideas for several years, right? So they are putting money to some use. They have announced a good capex, around 10 times the capex what is the original balance sheet is. They don't want to go and pile on debt. They will dilute. They have never diluted. It's a bootstrap company. Key rate. They have never diluted. जितना उनको dilute करना था वो उतना उन्होंने किया हुआ है 25% as per government norms. They will dilute. They will come up with a preferential round and they will put money into this. और जो ये capex कर रहे हैं, that will save them time and increase their production capacity. मैंने तो अभी कंपनी को विजिट किया है, इस पे थीसिस भी देखा, सब कुछ देखा, मैनेजमेंट से बात भी किया, सब कुछ किया. So this is how you get it. Even when the profits doubled, nothing happened to the price. तो केवल EPS बढ़ जाने से शेयर चल जाता है ऐसा नहीं. सॉरी, ऐसा नहीं होता. I think I have taken more than 10 minutes. 10 मिनट की बात थी अपनी, 20 मिनट हो गए. Okay. No questions?
सर, तो मतलब कि जो करंट कैपिटल है उससे ज्यादा इंक्रीमेंटल में जो अर्निंग आएगा तो वहां पे वैल्यू ज्यादा क्रिएट होगा.
मैंने रिकॉर्ड किया, आप सुन लेना 20-25